Well, good morning. Welcome to another video on the channel, and today I am in Angler's Paradise. More importantly, I'm at the Trout Lake, which is at the very bottom of the complex. Now, I fished here in the past during the lure weekends, obviously with a lure, catching the trout out of here. But today is a first. Now, I'm going to try and catch them on a fly, using a fly rod, obviously. Now, I've never used a fly rod before. I've used it a little bit in the garden just to see if I can get the hang of the casting, which, to be fair, didn't go very well. So this is going to be the first time I'm going to try and catch a fish using a fly rod. So it could be interesting, but we've got the beautiful Trout Lake behind me here. And myself and Steve popped down, the passionate piscator, and see if we could see any fish. Now, we saw a fair few in the margins, which is quite handy because that's probably where the fly's gonna end up. But yeah, really looking forward to it. But a fairly nice day for it, I think. I'm no trout expert. It's a bit overcast. Now and then the sun pops out. So it's still fairly warm. It's very muggy, to be fair. But let's see what we can catch. Let's get the kit set up. Get cracking. So here it is, the alien device. Now, looking at catalogues and stuff before I brought this, you can spend a small fortune on a fly rod. You know, Jesus, I'm talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. You know, I'm seeing them for near enough close to $1,000 for a rod. Now, I may not be any good at this. I may not want to do it again. So I didn't see the point in spending an absolute fortune. This rod and reel set from Gray's was under £100, I think. Yeah, it was definitely under £100. I can't remember how much under, but so you know, it looks like a fly rod. It's got a little fly reel on it. It's got some fly line. So we'll put it together. I've got a fair few flies I brought over the past few months. The local tackle shop sells them, so I brought a few flies. Let me just grab those. At the time, I was speaking to the fella, saying the kind of lake that it's going to be, that I'm going to be fishing, and asking his opinion. But obviously, he didn't know the lake. He didn't really know. He told me gave me some good flies that, you know, should work on most waters. So, and at the time, he did tell me which ones were dry flies and which ones were wet flies. I've got no idea which ones are which now. So I've got this little part here. You see that? So we've got some leggy little fellas here. Got some fluffy little fellas here. Got some tiny little ones here. And a couple of these that I got for probably carp fishing, to be fair. They're sort of dog biscuit imitations. And in here, I've got the really fluffy ones. So I thought, being Angler's Paradise, there's a lot of ornamentals in most lakes. To be fair, there probably isn't in here. But just in case there was, got some orange ones. Got ones that look like boobies on the beginning of the front of the hook. So I don't really know where to start. I'll probably start small-ish. Maybe one of these little leggy fellas. Give it a go. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Let's get cracking. Before I start sticking on the old flies, I'm just going to have a little look in the hedges and the sedges and the bits around the lake to see if I can see any kind of fly life. Because, you know, a lot of the time they say you know, match the hatch. I've heard that expression in more than just carp fishing, in fly fishing, where you see if you can see the kind of flies that are around the lake, or the actual life, like water boatmen, that kind of thing. If you can see anything that the trout are going for, it's good to try and mimic your fly to that. So I'm going to have a little scrum around, see if I could see any kind of fly life, or look on the surface of the water, see if there's anything skirting around to give me an idea. If not, then I'll just stick on one that looks nice. And then we'll go from there, I think. So didn't see a huge amount, but I've found a few of these little fellas. Oh, he's gone. There's a fairly pale type of fly. Now that may not have any reference or anything to do with, you know, they may never land on the water, but it's something. I'm going to go with one. The one that I looked at just now, it's got a little pale back on it. Give that a go. What's the worst that can happen? To be fair, we've seen a fair few fish come up and rise. So I think if it's on the surface, if it's a dry fly, then the chances are it'll probably have a go for it. I don't think they're going to have a huge preference on what type of fly it is. So let's get it all together and hopefully catch my first trout on a fly. Right, here we go.
Let's have a quick peek. Shot. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, something like that. It's got a fairly light top. Right, here we go.
I'm out of the way now.
First attempt at casting
Oh, hang on.
a fly. There we go. It's in the water. Now, I've seen this on videos. They let loads of line out. And then they catch a bush like I just did. Right, I just stuffed that right up. Okay, let's try again. Okay, it's not. I mean, it moved. It went out. Let's get a little bit more line out. There we go. It's still in the margins, but we're moving in the right direction, I think. Oh dear. We're moving, we're getting out. It's actually further than I thought it would be. Let's see if we can get a little bit further. Oh, I nearly had myself then. Right. We've gone out a little bit. So let's just bring that back. Right, so that is, it's definitely a dry fly, because that's on the top. Actually looks really good on the top. It's just, okay, that was a fail. Right, so, okay. So you don't bring it back that far because the weighted fly line goes through. And when that goes through, you're stuffed. All right. Okay. Just kind of goes in a bundle. There we go, that's better. I can see what they said means. Guy in the tackle shop when we was in there said, be prepared to pick flies out your hat or out your head. Which is very true, because it was very close to my face then. I hooked my own rod. Oh dear. Oh dear. at all. I just can't seem to grasp it very well. Yeah, I seem to be catching the rod quite a lot, so I'm not... I mean, it's my first time. It's not like I've done this before, so it's bound to be a little tricky. So I'm trying to kind of bring the rod up. So I think it's like 10-2, so bring it up and then bring it down. But when you've never done it before, it looks so easy on the videos, but it just isn't. Oh, just... oh dear. Oh, I've caught the camera and everything. Lovely. Oh, that was a lovely cast. Oh, it's quite satisfying when you actually get something right. What I might do in a minute, now that I've had plenty of practice thrashing this part of the lake to a foam, probably going to move off. Might try one swim down to my right first. And give that a go. Stood on the fly line. That's probably why. Oh, it was right next to my face. Lovely. Yeah, I think I'll have another. Just move down a swim, I think, maybe. Beautiful. Yeah, this is. I don't know. You get a feeling it's. You know, not that you've come a long way, because you know I started off fishing with coarse fishing without even a float, just sort of free lining. And now I'm here with a fly rod doing some fluff chucking. I know a lot of people start the other way around. I know people that have started and have only ever fly fished. But you know, it's like another string to the bow almost. Yeah, it's quite satisfying in a sense. I'm seeing the odd fish rise up around the lake. I just saw one right over there, but not much. So I'm going to stick a wet fly on, if I can work out which one is a wet fly. At least then I know, or I might feel like I'm a little bit more confident if it's under the water, maybe. Yeah, let's stick like a greeny coloured one on. Give that a go. What's the worst that could happen? I'm pretty sure they're all wet flies. So I'm going to try. See, I'm going to try one of these booby looking ones. I think that looks like it would entice a trout. Who knows? Let's give it a go. yeah, I must admit, the confidence level is dropping. Whereas before I thought, oh, it's going to be easy. You know, I've seen the videos, had a little go in the garden. Absolutely, no problem at all. But turns out it's not easy at all. In fact, with my knackered old aged eyes, even trying to get the fly on the problem. Especially when there's glue all in the blooming thing. Right, we'll go with this lovely green looking one. I'm sure it's got a lovely name that someone spent ages thinking of. Oh yeah, it's a Dewberry book flip. Jeffrey McSpurgeon. God, they're a pain in the arse though. Because the people who've made them obviously just glued up the bloody eye. Ah, there we go. We're through. Don't panic, Mrs. Meldrew. We are sorted. I must admit as well that all the flies are barbed. So I'm having to just crush the barb and file it down a little bit so that I can use them because it's barbless only here. But with how close these things are getting to my face, I'm quite glad that they are barbless, to be honest, or crushed, because that would hurt. I've lost my fluff. There it is. Make sure that's nice and flat. Lovely. Still pin sharp. That's good. Right. Let's fudge this one up now. Right, so the old fly fishing for trout is, I wouldn't say it's going to plan. It's a good casting exercise, definitely. I'm definitely getting there with the casting when I don't hook myself. Well, I haven't hooked myself yet, but I keep hooking the rod or the fly line as it's flying backwards and flying forwards. I'm obviously just got to perfect the technique a little bit. I'm never going to be an excellent fly fisherman on the very first day of trying it, that's for sure. And it is a lot harder than I thought, and a lot harder than it's made to look on TV. But the trout just seem to have switched off in a sense. I don't know whether that's just because me and Steve are down here thrashing it to a foam or not. But I'm right down the other end now, so I'm in a little alcove bit here, and I was all the way, where am I? Yeah, sort of up here to start with. So I'm kind of making my way round. So I've obviously got the wet fly on now, which I think it looks so good underwater. And it actually helps with the casting because it's got a little bit more weight than a dry fly. So it actually helps to punch it out a little bit more. But yeah, I think we had a good walk around when we got it. Well, this morning, before we actually brought the stuff down, we had a walk around and thought, yeah, there's lots of little swims, there's little areas that we can fish. Like, I don't think you can see any right nowhere near where Steve is. Can't think where to point the camera. Over here, sort of way, on the other side of the lake. There's little openings, and we thought, yeah, these would be really good. But with how the fly goes, with a bit of wind, chances are we're going to hook everything. So the only bank we can really fish is along this side safely. So yeah, it's not ideal, I don't think. If you're an experienced fly fisherman, you could probably fish anywhere on this lake. You know exactly where your line's going to go, but we're just not. So I'm going to try this little bay and see if anything comes along. Either way, it's absolutely lovely. It's a really nice method of fishing. It's so therapeutic. It's quite nice. For a stressful man like me, I get stressed over everything. Even when it's not casting right, I just don't know. It's just not making me feel stressed. It's really, really nice thing to be doing. The weather's kind of good. You get the odd little bit of sun poke out. It's been overcast sort of most of the time. It's actually really quite comfortable. It's hot, obviously, it's warm, but it's quite comfortable compared to the full blazing sun it was yesterday. So let's give this little bay a go. See what transpires. Yes, here we go. Got one on, Steve? Well, I have at the moment. Oh, he's off. Oh, no. That's absolutely gutting. I had one on for maybe 10, 15 seconds. I was playing it really well in the margins. It was going really well. Then all of a sudden it just tore off like a flipping steam train. And my hands were like, what do I do? And I was trying to let it go gently with the fly line in my left hand. But yeah, it just pinged off. I've seen a fair few fish in this bay now. It's just getting the blooming fly to them quick enough. I keep hooking the bloody rod, hooking the ground. The only thing I haven't hooked yet is me. So I'm going to have a little break for a moment, I think. Have a drink, sort my life out. Give it a moment here because I think that fish probably disturbed it quite a bit. And then we'll have another go. Warm. It was lovely earlier, perfect weather, overcast. It was warm, but it wasn't like boiling hot sun, which it is now. And I really think that's probably going to really put the fish off. Like I said, I'm no trout expert, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading or seeing something that trout, or most fly fishing, isn't great in the sun because they have to kind of come up for the fly. And they don't like it on their eyes. I haven't seen anything jumping around either for a little while. Well, just saw a trout straight in front of me, so let's try and get that. It's a little bit cooler, but it's still really muggy. I'm just waiting at the moment, see if I can see a fish turn up. Then I can hopefully whack the fly on his head. Ish. I think that's a bit optimistic, to be fair. Still getting used to holding the rod. So obviously it's when you've been coarse fishing for as long as I have, and you've got sort of your fingers and your thumb like that around the spool, around the reel handle, or the reel stem. It feels very weird to have your whole hand in front of a reel. Lovely. God damn it. amount of times I have literally done this, just hooking the backing. Well, not really hooking it, just kind of spinning around it. Not sure, with experience, that will hopefully stop happening, but I'm not going to say it will. Well, it's drawing in now. Look at that sky behind me. That looks incredible. Oh, absolutely fantastic day. I've loved it. Learning how to fly cast without having a tuition. Just myself and Steve down here having a little. It was great fun. Great fun. It was excellent. But what we think we're going to try and do, rather than keep slogging away today, and we just don't feel it's going to happen anymore. We've seen no rises at all for the last couple of hours, really, I think. So we haven't seen anything in the margins. When we came down here early this morning, we saw loads of trout right in the margins, near enough everywhere. We saw absolutely loads of them. So we thought, yeah, must be a good day. We went back to the villa, got things sorted, paid the ticket, and then come back down. We saw a few, but not on the same scale. So we think we're going to come back on Friday morning, or one of the days this week, and have another go, but actually come down here sort of fairly early doors and see if we can catch some early in the morning on the fly. So hopefully that happens. Well, good morning. We're back down on the Trout Lake early doors on Friday, so last proper day of our holiday down here at Angler's Paradise. See if we can winkle out a trout. We've come a lot earlier this time, as on our last trip we came down sort of early morning to have a little look around, saw loads of fish, and by the time we got down here we didn't really see a lot. So we thought we'd come back down, have another go. Got the fluff chucking equipment. We're going to give it another go. See if we can get a trout or two. Maybe not, but we'll give it a go. Hopefully we can tempt something along. We're going to start with a dry fly. Where is it? This. Couldn't tell you what it is. I should have written down the names of what they are, because I've got no idea what that is. It's a floating dragonfly looking fly. Could be called a dragonfly. Got no idea. Well, let's get into position and start thrashing the water to a foam. Now, in the short time I was fishing there, I've seen 3 trout come up to where the fly is, have a kind of a nose around, but they weren't rising at all. They could see it was there because I was twitching it, and it was like agitating them almost, but they didn't want to come up. So I'm going to change the dry fly for a wet fly and then have another go. This is the little fella I've been using. Not really sure what it looks like. And I've got my little box of tricks here. So these are all the dry fly looking ones. I think they're all dry flies anyway. They look buoyant anyway. I could be completely wrong. And these ones are the kind of fluffy wet fly ones. Oh no, yeah, they're the wet fly, fluffy wet flies. I think these ones here are also wet flies. So I am going to go with this one, because I had a take on this one last time I was here. Why not? Why not? So let's chop this one off and see if this makes any difference. Well, they don't like that one. I'm going to keep switching the flies about here and there till I find one that they like. And this little red fella is not one of them. There's fish moving about in front of me here and there. I'm probably scaring most of them off, to be fair, but so I've tried some fairly big kind of flies. So I think I'm going to try kind of smaller one. Now, I've got no idea if these are wet flies or dry flies, but I'm going to try, I don't know. Do you know what? I am going to try one of these ones first. Just because it's nice and black. And I know during the lure weekends when we do them, although that's a completely different time of year. It's normally November time. We're in September now-ish. So I'll give the black one a try. See if that makes any difference. It might just be one of those mornings where they're just, I caught myself. Where they're just not interested in a little bit of fluff. I wouldn't be, to be fair. Someone trying to lure me into dinner with a piece of fluff is not really what I would want, but you know, I'm not a trout. Here we go. Black, green, fluffy shark kind of thing. Let's give that a go. Finally got one after changing the fly about flipping 20 times. Look at this. I believe this is a tiger trout. Oh, it's covered in grass. Ooh, ooh. Look at that. Absolutely stunning looking fish. He's not happy at all. But beautiful colours, especially in this morning sun. Absolutely beautiful. Let's slip her back. Oh. Look at the colorations on that. Absolutely beautiful.
Here he comes again.
Being held by Steve, the passionate piscator, in the margins, just letting him get his breath back. Oh, there we go. He's off. Gently swimming off. And away. There we go. Look at that. It took a long time. My first fish on the fly. And it was a tiger trout, and an absolutely stunning one at that. Gonna have a breather for a moment, let the area kind of sort its life out after that thrashing around. Then maybe have a little wander, see if we can catch another one. Now that I know that this fly works, it's given me a little bit more confidence. Whereas before I kind of felt like I was just chucking in a bit of fluff to be ignored. But at least I know that one fish liked it, so hopefully others will. I'm going to go over and have a little see what Steve's doing. This is the very far end of the lake. I think there's a swim right on the point there, but I think this side, I think this is about as far as you can go. I just saw one rise to my left over here. So there's definitely fish in the area somewhere, or a fish. So I think we'll have a little go here for a little while. It's a hell of a lot shallower. So I'm hoping, it's really warm today, really muggy. So hopefully they'll, might be in the shallower water. I don't know. Being trout, I have no idea what they do. But it's a beautiful morning here at Angler's Paradise. On the Trout Lake, there's there's no breeze at all. There's no sun either, really. It keeps poking in and out of the clouds. But that's fine with me, as long as it's not full sun, because I think that's what put the trout off the last time we were here. I mean, Steve managed that little scrawny one. And I think he was probably quite lucky to get that. So let's, oh, there's another one just rose out in front of me there. We can still see the rings. So yeah, let's have a little go here and see if we can find some fish. And when walking along these swims, the water here is crystal clear, as I said. So I'm kind of looking for signs of fish. You know, quite often they come around the margins, just mill around. And if I see one, at least I know there's something in the area. But can't see anything here, but I'm still going to have a cast because it looks absolutely lovely. Look at this lovely island here. I mean, I have a bush either side of me and an electric fence behind me. What could go wrong? Let's move along. Choppity chop, chop, choppity chop, chop, chop. Dum 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 dum. Yep, Trout. Any Trout? Hello. Trout. Now this area of the lake is normally really good on the lure weekend because it is the deepest part of the lake. But it seems no matter what wet fly I put on, they don't really sink very much. They kind of go like a foot or so under the water at the most. I don't know if that's normal or that's just the flies that I've got. So I'm going to have a little go around the monk for a little while. A few casts. And then see. Well, yeah, just see. There's not much else I can do. There's only probably one more swim along this bank, and then there's a huge row of trees that you can't really get through until you get all the way around to where I caught that last tiger trout from. So we'll have a go here, see if we can not catch anything. Well, other than trout, I mean not catch a bush or line or electric fence. Right. Well, now there. Must admit, I do really enjoy it. Really enjoy the casting. It's very therapeutic. I don't think it's going to be long. I'm going to have a waistcoat. I'll have one of them hats in with all the flies attached to it. I'll be a changed man. I'll never want to catch a carp again. Or a perch. Or a bream. It'll be all about the trout. Nah. I definitely couldn't give up any of those species, that's for sure. But it is very nice. It's very therapeutic. Well, yeah, no, that one's got a tiny little entrance. Ooh, misses. So I don't think I'll attempt that one with a fly. Looks like that's probably going to be it for the fly on this side of the lake, I would think. Maybe that one? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Right, let's head back round. Go and have a chat with Steve. See how he's getting on, see if he's had anything. Then come up with another plan, maybe. Oh, hello. Welcome to another episode of Aaron's Trout Fishing World. Obviously not. But seriously, it has been an absolutely fantastic session down here. Obviously, it's not like we've been dragging fish up the bank. I've only had one tiger trout in the sort of 2 sessions that I've had here. But it's been an absolutely fantastic session. Really, really, really fun. Me and my old mucker Steve, passionate piscator. We don't get to fish much together anymore because he's moved up to Bristol. I still live in Basingstoke. So it's, yeah, you know, we've known each other for over 35 years. No, that is right. That is right. No, I thought in my mind, no, that can't be right. That is right. I've known him for, yeah, over 35 years. We've been fishing together for probably 25, 30 years of those. So yes, it's been really, really nice to spend a week down here with Steve because we don't do it enough. Yeah, it's been absolutely lovely. I mean, if you're watching this, the chances are you're probably not going to learn a lot about the art of trout fishing or fly fishing because we've been learning it ourselves at the same time. But if it inspires you to get out there and have a go with a fly rod, because neither myself or Steve had ever had a go with it before, this is our first time and we've absolutely loved it. It's been very, very therapeutic, a bit frustrating at times when you're first starting off, but once you've got the hang of it, absolutely fantastic. Now, as always, thank you very much for watching the video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you on the next one.